like this. It's so fun. But I really need a whole pile of children with me. What am I going to do? Ah. My baby, and I go something about blowing is incredibly good for releasing all those toxic signs of stress and the day and stuff that you didn't want to do but you had to do it. Just blow it all out. And this sensory experience by baby is pretty powerful, really. It gives them a sense of awe, where they are. Obviously you can gauge how gentle you have to be with baby when you're blowing. And I think it's that time because I need to move around a bit more, and you do too. So we're going to walk together because my baby is suddenly 2 years old, or maybe 3, or maybe even 4. It's really good fun, and I think you might even remember this yourself from your childhood. Ho, 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 it's going to be fun, this one.
I'm in disguise. It's me. Hi. I'm in disguise because today is the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Rah, 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 rah. If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. Rah! If you go down in the woods today, you'd better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Rah, 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 rah. Come on, everybody! Rah, 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 rah! If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. Rah! If you go down to the woods today, you'd better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Picnic! One more time! Picnic! Rah! Rah! Now, the next song is all about a little speckled frog. Now, it's a green one, actually, in the song, or maybe it can be a brown one. Here we go, anyway. 5 little speckled frogs. 5 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching the most delicious flies. Yum, yum! One jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Then there were 4 little speckled frogs. 4 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching the most delicious flies. Yum, yum! One jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Then there were 3 little speckled frogs. Let's do a different voice. 3 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching the most delicious flies. Yum, yum! One jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Then there were 2 little speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 1, 2 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching the most delicious flies. Yum, yum! One jumped into where it was nice and cool. Then there were one little speckled frog. Ha ha! One little speckled frog sat on a speckled log, catching the most delicious flies. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Then there were no little speckled frogs. Blub, blub.
Emma has asked some of us to talk about early childhood music education, its value and importance, in order to support her marathon music session. I'm more than happy to do this. I'm Susan Young, and I've worked in music education all my life, which, a frightening thought now, is over 40 years. And although I started working with secondary age children, I increasingly came to focus on music education in early childhood. I'm not going to talk about quite the topic that Emma has asked me to. I think that there is a lot of talk about the value of music to young children, lots of energy given to arguing for the importance of providing music for young children. My view is that everyone is convinced and doesn't need any more convincing or any more evidence of its benefits. All that is understood and recognised. But in all this talk, the actual music practice itself, what we do with young children in music, the processes of working with them in music are largely taken for granted, as if these things do not need to be debated or discussed, as if they can be taken for granted. The result is a kind of anything goes approach in which there's little recognition of the knowledge, skills and understanding required to do music with young children in ways that really can engage them, really will make a difference, and really will have a clear purpose and value. There is a widely held view that to do music with young children is easy. All you need are some attractive songs for little children, delivered in a fun and lively way, a few props to capture the children's attention, and often also a good business model, with branding, a catchy name, and some unique selling points to attract the parents and managers of nurseries who are purchasers of the music provided. Without state funding for early childhood music practitioners, and this idea isn't pie in the sky, state funding happens in other countries, early childhood music becomes something which must pay its own way, either by seeking funding from charities and arts organisations or by being purchased. So, rather than go on grumbling about the current state of affairs, let me tell you what I think would be the ideal. First of all, early childhood music practice as a profession would be ideal, would be my vision, and that requires professional qualifications and a recognised body of skills, knowledge and understanding to practice. No one would expect other professionals working with young children to do their work without any background training or qualification at all. The early childhood practitioner working in nurseries and preschools, let's think of, for example, the gym instructor leading classes for little children, the language therapist, the music therapist even. All these people and many more working with young children require professional licenses to work and can only work if they have background qualifications. Why on earth should we expect any less for music? And then, once there is a professional requirement to be qualified, the understanding of what counts as good practice in early childhood music will gradually improve, and standards of practice will gradually go up. The benefits of music to young children will only be assured if the practice being offered them is of the highest quality that we can provide.
I have a little teddy, I do, and I love to hold him tight. I love to rock my teddy when I go to sleep at night. Rock, my teddy. Rock, my friend.
Hello. Hi everybody. My name is Alba and I'm a music teacher and I used to work for the Music House for Children in Shepherd's Bush, London. Last year I returned here to my hometown, to my home country in Spain and to my hometown in Granada. But I'm still working as a music teacher and I teach children from little 2-3 years old until up to 12 years old. I would like to talk to you today a little bit about the importance of music for me in early childhood and what I learned in the Music House for Children. The importance and value of music in the care and education of very young children is increasingly being recognized. In recent years, researchers have shown the multiple benefits of musical experiences in childhood. However, academic achievement for me isn't the only benefit of music and education and exposure to music. Music ignites all areas of early child development, from cognitive skills to social, emotional, psychomotor, many. But furthermore, simply put, music brings us joy. And I promote music for the sake of music itself. When I was working in the Music House for Children, I learned so much about how to promote the love for music among children and how to foster every child's musical abilities and talents. Today I'd like to share with you a little activity with a traditional Spanish song. I hope you like it. Right, so this song is called ¿Dónde están las llaves? That means, where are the keys? Where are the keys? Where are they? Right, what are we learning with this song? This song is specially for under 5s. You can sing this song with babies up to 5-6 years old even. It depends on what activity you want to work with in using this song. Here we are developing an understanding of phrasing in songs on one hand, also learning to dance together in pairs and changing actions to what's happening in the song, and identifying patterns of rhythm within the song, responding physically. In our case, we're going to clap, hands to hands, hands with hands, and when we hear the word timpong, every time we hear timpong, we're going to do timpong. While we're listening to the songs and the different phrases, we'll be dancing to each other, elbow to elbow, and in front of each other. Remember, every time you hear timpong, you'll need to clap. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna use my guitar. Vivo en un castillo, matarilerilerile. Vivo en un castillo, matarilerilero. Timpón, ¿dónde están las llaves? Matarilerile. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarilerilero. Timpón, en el fondo del mar. Matarilerile. En el fondo del mar. Matarilerilero. Timpón, ¿quién irá a buscarlas? Matarilerile. ¿Quién irá a buscarlas? Matarilerilero. Timpón. Right. Okay, did you hear the timpón? Did you clap? Well done. Now this time, let's see if every time we hear matarilerile, okay, what you need to do is you can tap your chest or on your knees or your chest, okay, matarilerile, matarilerile. And when we hear timpón, timpón, Matarille, rille, rille, tin, pon. Are you ready? Let's go. Vivo en un castillo, matarille, rille, rille. Vivo en un castillo, matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, rille. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. En el fondo del mar, matarille, rille, rille. En el fondo del mar, matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. ¿Quién irá a buscarlas? Matarille, rille, rille. ¿Quién irá a buscarlas? Matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, rille. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. Good job. All right. Now, the last activity with the song is instead using body percussion. Now, every time we hear matarille, rille, rille, we sing that. We're going to use a shaker. You can use other instruments. I chose a shaker. Matarille, rille, rille. Okay? And the chimpon, I think it sounds like a big drum. So I'm going to use a big drum. Chimpon. Okay? So I'm going to sing it now without the guitar so you can hear when to use it. And then if you want, you can listen to the song again and try yourself with the instruments. So it would be like this. Vivo en un castillo, matarille, rille, rille. Vivo en un castillo, matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, rille. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. En el fondo del mar, matarille, rille, rille. En el fondo del mar, matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. ¿Quién irá a buscarlas? Matarille, rille, rille. ¿Quién irá a buscarlas? Matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, rille. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Matarille, rille, ron, tin, pon. Good job. Can you do it? I hope you enjoy my Spanish songs. Bye.
I think it's a Christmas song, but it doesn't matter. Because it really doesn't matter. Every day is Christmas. Every day is Easter. Every day is a party. Every day is Diwali. Every day is Ramadan. Every day is a party day. Let's just have fun. Mama had a baby, yeah, yeah. Mama had a baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mama had a baby. Lift them up so high. Yeah, yeah. The babies keep on coming and the train can roll along. The babies keep on coming and the train can go. Daddy had a baby, yeah, yeah. Daddy had a baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Daddy had a baby, yeah, yeah. The babies keep on coming and the train can go. The babies keep on coming and the train can go. One more time. We all had a baby, yeah, yeah. We all have a baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. We all have a baby, yeah, yeah. The babies keep on coming and the train done gone. We all are babies and the train done gone. Take it back. And I know that some of you out there might be thinking, but why are you singing that song? Why do you sing that song? Why do you sing that song? Haven't they got bad connotations, evil, historic connotations? But that's the point. Our lives are made up of history and stories And for me, if something has a fantastic melody, surely it tells you about the perseverance and the stamina and the great heart for life that the people who wrote these songs have, despite all odds.
What we can do now, it's more in the early years, is when parents are sharing with us videos of their music making at home. First of all, the sharing itself means that it's important for them.
Yes.
Second, they share with us the repertoire, we share with us the type of relationships that they do with they make during the music making, and then we can add our input as experts in the sense of, oh, you can expand this this activity, or I know other song that it's very similar to this, or I saw that the child suddenly began tapping on it. You could answer him or her.
Absolutely. And by doing that, we're sharing two things, I think, our expertise, but also our respect for the parent.
Mm-hmm.
By saying, this is wonderful, have you thought about this, rather than so often the way you lack skills, so let me show you how it's done, which
exactly.
is absolutely not our message, I think. That's a wonderful way of engaging in collaborative activity together with our mutual skills as being a parent and a music specialist, and celebrating everything that we can possibly give to the child. For maybe for your outcome, for my outcomes, it might be musical, but for the parents' outcome,
exactly,
it might be vocalizing, or it might be reaching up their fine motor or gross motor skill.
So we are doing exactly the same type of class that math, science, and language are broadcasting.
Absolutely.
And instead of saying, no, music is something different, the content should be.
Yeah, it's interesting because if every educator, and I include parents in this and childminders, people working in the early years sector, if every educator had just a few musical tools within their teaching facility, toolkit, if you like, they would be able to teach maths and history and all the other subjects, I think, in more engaging, more in creative ways. And obviously we know that music as a subject is as important as developing other skills through musical play.
Any kindergarten teachers those are that I am educating. I'm educating future kindergarten teachers, preschool teachers, and music teachers. Early childhood students feel unempowered about music. They feel that they are not musical, they cannot sing correctly, they don't know about music, so it's something to do by an expert. And I always say that I prefer a kindergarten teacher or preschool teacher that legitimize what the children do, that is able to see what musical is in every child and let them express themselves, expand it, rather than once a week having a teacher, even a very expert teacher, coming for a very specialized music class, when maybe many children are not interested in that exactly moment.
Which is a case in point as well. We don't all want to do something musically specific, but I think there's two camps here. One is to train children and adults to be musicians or musical, and the other simply take the components of music and put them into what is already in our lives. From birth, pre-birth, as we all know, their ears are fully formed 6 weeks before birth. So it's drawing out, it's teasing out something that's already intrinsically there. And parents are actually the best advocates for that. So in the end, dare I suggest, perhaps in your country too, as well as the UK and in so many countries across the world, it's about training and saying it's not about making you an expert musician. It's about building on what you already have. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. In my experience, I used to give a conference once a year at all our early childhood students about musical characteristics of children. And I always shot a lot of videos. At the time, there were private videos, there were nowhere so many YouTube ones. So I really was collecting things. And what's happening, even now, after 10 or 20 years even, I have former students who sent me videos of their own children saying, oh, I saw it and I remember your conference, your lecture about it.
That's great.
So the thing that I showed those things and I talked about it, it ignited in them, oh, so there were a lot of music going on at home. It just putting them the right glasses.
Yes.
And opening their ears to just identifying those moments. And when they identify it and they feel that it's something worthy and they send it to me even after 10 years, that means that it's really there. And then they are enabling the children just to express themselves and to see that as part of the musical life of the family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You said something about recognizing it. And the minute, for example, if I say, think about your breath as a musical thing. If you take a breath, then it becomes playful, it becomes musical. And the minute you put that sort of word, think about something as a musical thing, people just change. They think, oh, it's not so difficult. I'm just thinking musically. And then, as you say, you can stretch it out and build on it. It's just a mindset.
But I think that musicians have done a bad service for music sometimes, presenting it only as an expert thing.
Yes, I think there is that. There are. I think again, like every topic, every subject, every like art. I think there are definitely camps of people who perceive it as something, and then they deliver it in a different way. And I think that's okay. Again, it's about choice. But when there's a fundamentally overwhelmingly positive evidence on how music impacts on early childhood development, for me, it just seems crazy to ignore it anymore and just say, look, this is how it is. Let's just give it a generation, and then we can actually say, yes, it's so important. We can't ignore it anymore.
I think that now we feel it even more, the fact that communication is multimodal and expression is multimodal.
Yeah.
And when we are connecting this way, we are bimodal in them. Sometimes, maybe trimodal. We are using our voice. It doesn't come out as it would be if we were in the same room.
Yeah.
To see all the expressions, we have to be really focused and have a good connectivity, an internet connectivity. And we are lacking the whole space in between us. Hey, voice is very important. I mean, Merrick UK has done a difference, I think.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because back in Cyprus, I don't know whether you were there when we did the Cyprus.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
I think we have met actually, because I was with Sue Young and Alison Street and Jessica Pitt and lots of others were there. There were actually 12 people from the UK, and that was when we decided to set up America UK. Thank you so much, Claudia.
Okay.
It's very good of you.
You're welcome. Happy to.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye. You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Keep safe. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Katie. I've been working at the Music House for 5 years or something now. And as we all know, music has a special place for all of us. Children, adults, additional needs, whatever. We all have a special relationship with music on our own terms. And I think what I find to be the most amazing thing about using music with early years and additional needs is that it breaks the barrier of words. We don't need words when we have music. Yes, some music has words, but by using music, we bring it down to the bare emotion, the bare, just the bones of who we are, what we're doing, our actions, everything is distilled, if you like, using music. And it's the most fantastic tool to create really, really genuine connection and look further than what's on the surface that you might find using words. And I'd like to share a little song. This one is one of my favourites. I use it all the time. You can use, I use it for all ages, adults, babies, additional needs. It's so fun. It's an Aboriginal lullaby, but I sort of jazz it up a little bit, make it a bit more upbeat, and it goes. Sitting with her child by the fire, and she's shooing away a lizard, saying, "Go wanna go, wanna go, wanna go, wanna go, wanna shoo." And it's so great for children because it has some very clear sections to it. The go wanna part, the shoo, and the two different parts with the verse. And I use it in all sorts of ways, to dance, to move, to do different actions because it goes down and then up. I use it for different instruments, different sections, playing on the different instruments, playing on different sections. I use it as a listening exercise. I use it as a stop and start. There's just so many things you can do with it, and it's always, always enjoyable. And it seems to never get old. And you can put harmonies to it as well. There's actually 3 parts that can go with it. One more time. In the name, Capoeira. Hope you like it.